Okay, so today's fix is a 17.5-inch Dob. The top tube was pretty beat up, and they had used hex head screws and they were sticking out, and it was all, yeah, I mean, it all works, it just wasn't pretty. So that's what I'm gonna fix. And what my plan is what I've already done is take out all the screws that was holding in the plastic. Then I took that high strength 90 adhesive spray and flattened out that plastic better from where it was rippled from the screws and made it all lay flat. And then to hide all that, now why didn't I just start? Because I'm the type that, like, if I'm given something that's an original, I'm gonna really do my best to keep the integrity of what is original and work around it. So with that preface, what I've done is covered it up with some aluminum flashing that I also sprayed this entire perimeter, and I laid the back side of this flashing out and I sprayed it, and I let it sit for a good 5 or 6 minutes, and I just started and I wrapped it evenly so it's flat and there's no ripples all the way around, and it feels still like there's a little bit of give in it, but it's not rippling, it's not gonna break, it'll feel natural. And then we're gonna pop rivet this right through there down, and I'm gonna do it at each 4 corners, or 4 sides, if you want to call them that, to make it look symmetrical. And then I'm gonna rebolster where the eyepiece mounts. Let me flip it around here. It'll be right here. And I'm gonna carve a piece of wood out, sand it down with a slight little curve on the inside that is gonna match what's bolting up here. So then whatever big heavy eyepiece we put in there, and you got kids yanking on it when they're climbing up the ladder, whatever, it's not gonna hurt it. And I'm fixing to get these closer together, and then this beauty ring, you want to call it that, goes right over top. But I'm gonna make another one because it doesn't need this, and this is chipped out, but you see what's going on here. And then I put this flashing band that's going to be covered with black in to actually support the backs of my rivets without using these, which I'm going to still use in certain spots. They're rivet backings, but I think this will just look better overall, and it'll look intentional. And yep, that's where we're at. I'm fixing to start riveting. Alright, so I might as well talk about one other factor, and that is going to be your rivet choice. Obviously the diameter is important. You don't want to be big and gawky, but you want to support. So you can tell that backing there, it's gonna go up against that flashing really good. Then it's all up to you as far as what you want to see. So my experience, what I just tried, is this one here it just starts pulling the metal through on the back of this. So I went with a slightly longer to give me more meat on the back side to pull that up against, because I'm still, no matter what I do, I'm going to be behind that 1/4 inch ring that goes around the inside. And all of this is going to be cleaned up, by the way, but yeah, I'll still be inside of that. It's just a matter of touching the shiny pieces up, because you don't want those reflecting light in weird places and causing things that you're trying to figure out what's going on. So it's just a safe bet that everything on the inside is coated with black. And I'm also going to coat this black also, I believe. Unless I don't know, I'm going to ask the customer, but that's where we're at. See, so you got your rivet, and you choose the one you want. I want this one. You put the rivet in the gun to where that's sticking out. And I'm going to see if I can do this, because I like to pinch it tight. Like, let's see if I can get this on camera like that. Pinch these tight, and then take my thumb and squeeze on the back side while I'm supporting the inside. And then one quick swoop, and we have a rivet. And it looks like it buckled it, honestly, but you rework that, and then once you get all the way around, it's going to be uniform. And then my top piece is going to go over right almost to this rivet. So that's that. And on the inside, that's what it looks like. It pulls that into that metal and opens it up, and it sticks out maybe a 1/16 of an inch. So, and yeah, another quick tip: when you're drilling, you're gonna also use your fingers. That's why mine are so dirty. But take two and brace that aluminum, because yeah, it is glued, but brace that aluminum like right there. And this is going to do two things. It's going to make you go slow, because you don't want to stab your finger, and it's going to brace the back so you don't push the back of that when you go to drill through. And then when you go to drill through, just do it slow. This is basically a thick cardboard material. The aluminum is not that much harder than this, so you don't have to go full speed, and you don't have to push very hard at all. But yeah, do two fingers like that, and then I do one right there where my thumb is, to give me a tight pass through. So then you see, like I did with the rivet gun, that keeps that spot tight, and I know overall it's going to be tight. So now don't look at the ripples, because those are very small, but look how close I am to that all the way around. And the other tip is start on the other side of where your seam is. So I made the seam of this over there, because the eyepiece is right here. I want everything right here to be nice. So I'm going to do my rivets working out from this way. So even though it is glued, I could still work that out that way, rather than if I started at the seam and I started coming around here and riveting, I could end up with a big like wrinkle right here, a big bubble, and you're gonna have to cut that out and do something funny or make a wrinkle. So that's why you start on the opposite side of your seam. Took all those hex head screws out, and then, though that black plastic was pretty rippled, so I used a heat gun the best I could to straighten those out. And then I used this stuff and stuck, sprayed it on both sides, and then I wrapped that back around it in the same exact spots. And then I riveted in a couple of areas just to keep it taut. Alright. Then, to cover all of those sections and ripples, I basically, let's see, let me move this. Here's my seam. I basically took a piece of flashing, trimmed it down, and went around this with a decent overlap, but it's still not too much. And then to hold the back of my rivets, I put a strip of aluminum flashing as well to catch those, so then I can take and cover those with that black stuff you gave me. After I clean the rest of this up, I'm gonna wood fill some of those big holes. But yeah, I use this aluminum flashing so I have a good sucking point to pull this to. So now what we got is this nice solid tube, and yes, it feels traditional, because if you were like pushing hard, it's gonna give a little, but it ain't gonna buckle. Alright, and what I did, this is my finishing touches idea, on all these 4 edges, and that looks crooked, but anyway, on all these 4 edges, don't that look, it should be over here. Anyways, I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4 rivets on each side, and then right here, gotta cut out the eyepiece, and the eyepiece is gonna get this slightly wider piece trimmed down, obviously, right here. And yeah, we can keep it this copper and aluminum, or we can go back and paint everything. But when I drill this and make a little block, or to screw the eyepiece mount system to, I think it's gonna look good. So yeah, and then I'm either gonna redo or fix this beauty ring, but it's cracked in a lot of places and it's cheap wood, so I may do something else as far as the top, just to keep it low profile. I'm kind of thinking just something to cover this edge and keep it safe, so where you know what I mean. So that's my idea. It's just I want to make sure that I'm not getting too far ahead of myself, because I got an idea of what I wanted to do to remedy the situation and I went for it. So I hope that's okay. Alright, so what we got here is almost finished. So I decided against the wooden ring because it's a little too much and it's unnecessary. But I've got rubber hose, 3/4 inch, that when I cut it straight and the same length, it'll close nicely and I can glue it, and that'll be a perfect end for the top there. So I just got this kind of place to see what that feels like. These, I might coat them with something, or I'm still gonna see yet. I can still work these down, but come around here to the eyepiece section, and I think I might go ahead and paint everything, but I don't know. Clean these down. Then the eyepiece sits just like so, and bam. I think I'm going to do some foam, thick rubber foam in between, because it's literally so close. It's not worth doing it with wood because it would be so thin. Otherwise, I'm going to bring this too far away from where it needs to be. So I'm going to stay close. I'm going to use foam rubber in between to make a tight seal, because it's already curved one way. See there? So once I snug those down, it's going to be really flat relative to that mirror. So then from there, it's just about making it smooth when hands are running across this. So I'll probably tap my holes and everything for this, and then go back and do I'm thinking a Flex Seal coat, rubberized coating type deal, just to kind of give everything a once over and darken it. Or yeah, and then these on the inside, the rivets, rivet, yep. But it looks good compared to what it was. There we go.